Yo, what's going on, y'all? And welcome to a fresh episode of Billboard Unfiltered. And we have a special guest today. Holding it down. My brother from another. Yeah. Hot 97 resident. I would like to say he is one of the biggest architects in New York City in terms of breaking talent. I'm talking
Let's go.
Cardi B.
Let's go.
I'm talking about the late Pop Smoke.
Let's go.
A Boogie. Fabio. Foreign. I could keep on going. The good brother, DJ Drewski in the house.
Thank you for having me.
How you feeling, my brother?
I'm feeling a little unfiltered. Let's talk.
Hey, okay, a little spicy today. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
Spicy today.
Let's go.
You know, like I told you before the show, your political connects, they might be a little upset, but they'll be all right.
Artists, don't get mad. Please join Summer Jam if we need you.
There
you know
we
what I'm
go.
saying?
Don't take it personal.
Yeah, don't take it personal.
Yeah.
Just for the
Blame
live.
Carl.
Right.
That's right.
Yo, don't do that to me, man. I already got the Kendrick heads coming at me, man. No, it's going to be a fun show today. Of course, we're going to bring some fire topics with the first one. We got to give flowers to Mr. Wiz Khalifa.
Oh, yeah.
The brother has been on a fire run
Yeah.
as of late. The freestyle, I feel like I'm back in the blog era. You know, the way Wiz has just been cooking. He's been freestyling over the Kendrick Squabble Up, teasing a potential remix for Cole's Cloud. New song, he's a feature with La Russell. The brother is working at a pace we haven't seen maybe since Cabin Fever Wiz.
Yeah.
Cats are trying to say Cushion OJ.
Yeah.
How are we feeling about Wiz having this resurrection? It's starting to feel like 2011 all
Right.
over again. Are we surprised? I'll let Drewski go
Well,
first.
first, let me just say I'm glad we're getting the freestyles and the music and not him walking around in gym shorts and shirtless. And you know, what I'm saying? I was kind of getting tired of that.
Yeah,
I'm like, come on, Wiz. Like, where's the music?
I mean, he was so rich. He was just like, I'm just gonna, get my life right.
Right.
I'm just gonna get in shape and just gonna get these workout videos for a minute.
Gotta get the
It was a
bag.
minute
I was
though.
like, God damn, bro.
Yeah.
Shit's crazy.
Yeah, he's back in the studio, hard at work. I mean, knowing he's had 15 years in the game, and we're at a different space generationally where the new cats may not know who Wiz is, how would you guys sum up like his legacy overall, and then also talk about like what he can do to maintain his momentum?
Well, I felt like he built a core following, like a core audience in his early years. And they rocked out with him to now. Like, even without music, and they still rocked out with him. So now him coming back with these freestyles and potential music, I think he's going to be good. Because he's one of those artists that, when he drops, people get excited. We're talking about him now just off of, like, right? So I feel like he's built that in his early years in his career. And I'm a fan of Wiz as a person, so I want to support regardless, So I'm excited personally about the new music, and I feel like his core fans are, and the new kids, does he care? You think he cares about?
He's so rich.
Hey, I think
That's what I'm
Wiz
saying.
does
Do you
what
think he
wants
even
to.
cares about
the
the new generation?
I think he doesn't care. I think like Wiz has like developed this. To me, he's like the modern day Snoop. For the younger kids who may not be familiar. And I think when you look at his catalog too, if I'm Wiz, I don't give a shit, man. I got a couple of classics under my belt, Cushion OJ, Taylor Alderdice, man. From a mixtape scene, what he's been able to do, this dude is one of the best, and putting Pittsburgh on the map. And from a chart standpoint, which I know Trevor could best speak to, man, he had his moment, Black and Yellow.
Yeah, I mean,
again.
Yeah, I mean, obviously getting, when Wiz came out, I don't think anybody necessarily thought he was going to be like a #1 hit maker. So the fact that he was able to do it twice and with really two different kind of songs like Signifies, there is a commercial appetite for Wiz. I would actually love to see Wiz get another hit. He doesn't need it, but I feel like it's one of those things where just to cap off this era, like how crazy would it be if like there was a comeback single that kind of made its way? And cats obviously been fucking with Wiz for a while. They're ready for the new material. So if he was able to like sneak back into another top 40, top 20 kind of hit, like that to me would only solidify when you look at that 15-year run. Like, okay, Wiz is always kind of out here. His fans are always checking for him in the same way, kind of like, he built a fan base like a Mac Miller kind of way. Like wherever he goes, they're still there. And it's been 15 years, and he's not necessarily. His fortunes are not tied to how hot his last single was.
Exactly.
Like, even if it's been, 5 years or 10 years or whatever, like, if Wiz just drops that one classic, like, they're swarming right to it again.
Yeah, I agree.
We can't count him out.
I agree. That's a good point.
Right.
Yeah, I think, I'm excited just because, it's good to see an artist realize what people love about them and to like understand that there is something that they can still give to the game. To see him freestyle, like the first I heard was the La Russell song, where he was, I think La Russell posted a clip of it, and he was amped. He's like, yo, I got the best Wiz verse of the year. And I was like, that's not a big category. That's like, how many songs is Wiz dropping? And then he played the verse, and I was like, oh shit, this verse is actually pretty good. You know, Wiz sounds like he wants to rap again. I think he got so successful, like that Fast and the Furious shit just kind of like, you don't really gotta make music anymore after that.
Kaffa is a fool after that shit.
Like, his kids are straight. And I don't think he has anything to prove per se, but he sounds as if he sounds completely reinvigorated. He sounds like he wants to prove to people that he can still do this, like he can still tap in. I don't know if he cares about being accepted by the younger generation, but I think him linking up with La Russell of all people is interesting because this is a guy who is so far left of center that I don't even know if like people who are super into the pop and young cast right now even know who La Russell is.
Right.
So that's good for like I think both of them. And I think it gave him like I don't know if he were to drop on, you know, say he would do like a remix with like Gunna or something, would the response be the same? Because people are like, oh, La Russell. One, who the hell is La Russell? Right. Two, holy shit, did you hear this Wiz verse? Right. And I think that's like, it's been such a great moment. And the fact that he's been so invigorated by it, he's like, I'm gonna keep doing this. It's great, you know. Like everyone here in clouds and being like in the comments, being like, yo, this sounds like a Wiz track.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Bro, I haven't heard people say anything about a Wiz track in like I don't know how long.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
This is great.
Let me pose you guys this question real quick. Hypothetically, if you could pick one rapper from the blog era that you kind of wish could have this comeback run right now,
oh man,
who would you guys pick?
Damn, that's hard.
I mean, I was always a huge Charles Hamilton fan.
Oh wow.
Okay. Yeah, but a Brooklyn girl. Yeah,
I tell people this all the time, especially people who perhaps weren't maybe old enough to remember this day, but the day So Far Gone dropped. No one remembers this, but the day So Far Gone dropped. A lot of people, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people were excited because Charles Hamilton was also dropping a mixtape that day.
Was that the Sonic mixtape?
Yeah, well, they were all kind of Sonic.
The Gold Sonic, I
weird.
think. Yeah.
It was called
the Rihanna record.
It was called Well,
this is awkward.
Yeah, like Well, Isn't This Awkward? I think is what it was called.
Like that,
it had the Rihanna song on it.
Yeah.
Great mixtape.
It
just so happens that he drops that, and then
got that Farrah
fucking
Fawcett.
history changed. It's like no one remembers what happened before.
Right. Is he still making music? Do we know?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I remember he. Last time I interviewed Charles was maybe 2016, 17, and he had a record with Rita Ora.
Yeah.
And he had a scene in Empire, and then he just kind of.
He had like new management, and he signed like a new deal. Cause I did an interview with him in 2015.
Okay.
And I like spent some time with him. He actually performed at that time at
Irving Plaza.
Was it Irving?
I think it was Irving.
Or was it SOBs?
SOBs, you're right. Because I interviewed him at SOBs.
Yeah. So I was profiling him, so I was like following him around. I went with him down to SOBs to see it. It was packed. Like people were excited to see him again. Right. He seemed like he was in a good place. 'Cause I think for a while he was a little off, but yeah, man. You know, I think a lot happened in his career that overshadows how
the talent, the
gifted
music.
he was.
Right.
And you know, I would love, if he still has it, I would love to see him come back and do something.
I like that. Fun fact: I freestyled against Charles Hamilton ahead of his show at SOBs.
Did you win?
We're gonna call it a tie.
Right.
We go.
It's a draw.
I'm gonna do the Drewski.
Wait, is the footage out there somewhere? I gotta find this.
All right.
This was
wait a second.
backstage
This was
freestyle.
back-
Oh, okay.
this
So you
was
weren't like on stage.
Yeah, this was like ahead of his show.
How did y'all even get into that? Like you
Wait, how
you
do I
walked
not
up and
remember
said,
That was crazy.
It was on stage?
No.
No,
That was
backstage. I was
ahead
like,
of the show.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Because he had a viral clip online where like he would freestyle against guys.
Yeah.
Like y'all remember? You remember the Kendrick
Yeah.
freestyle? So I was like, yo, let's bar up real quick. And he was like, yo, let me hear what you got. I did like 8 bars, and then he did like a quick 32.
Bro, everyone, no one gives him his flowers, but that That
He's
dude
a
was
wizard.
talented,
He was a
bro.
wizard.
He was super talented.
He was a wizard. Drew?
Let me think. Would Asher Roth be a part of that?
Of course.
Yeah.
I feel like that he was one that I feel like I didn't get enough music
Yeah.
from. Yeah, I thought he was super talented myself, and I think he's still making music. Like I recently feel like I seen him freestyle or do one of those live performances.
Yeah.
But that would be a cool comeback.
I love those picks because I don't know if you guys remember. I want to say, was it the 09 freshman class they were both a part of? Charles, Asher,
they're
Wale,
both- wow.
Cuddy.
Wale.
That one of my favorite covers of all time. So shout out to Asher on
Asher
that.
Roth.
Yeah,
And it's
man.
not because he's white either.
He had bars.
Trying to hit me. It's because
he got a
had bars.
He said he got
I'm
a
right
for
there
his
with
own.
you. He had bars.
I thought he was entertaining.
Yeah. Trev?
I'm gonna pick actually before he went way left. I think right now would be a good time for B.O.B.
Wow. Shout out
The
to
Flat
Bobby.
Earther.
Yeah, Bobby.
I said before it went left, because especially I think
Flat Earther.
Those
Flat Earth bars.
Yes, before the Flat Earthers, because I think he was actually really good, of course, at for the pop songs that popped off. He was good at picking hook partners.
Right.
They really connected, whether it was Haley, whether it was Bruno, like whoever. Even got Taylor, which is a random sort of grab before she stopped doing features with most people. But I think especially just his. Yeah,
Forgot about
that both
that.
of us saw.
Yeah,
I don't.
that.
Like the story of that is crazy, but I think just in general, because to me, for someone like Tyler, who's kind of breaking out now in a way that, like Goofy is kind of in, a little Bookish is in. I think B.O.B. In this era could really capitalize off that kind of thing. I think just his personality and even his delivery was always a little nerdy. It was always a little bookwormish. I just think that that kind of hits its prime post Tyler, in the late 2010s, especially 2020s. So I think he could find a float right now.
Great pick. The comparisons. He used to get them Andre 3 comparisons a lot.
Yeah, I would say the early version of B.O.B. before he even made the pop songs, when he was walking around with a guitar and freestyling in Atlanta and stuff. I think that version of him could also come out right now and do well. Yeah, he was a talented dude.
Had a great run, to Trevor's point. Nothing on You, Magic, Airplanes.
Yeah.
Fetty
Magic.
Wap before Fetty, man.
Everyone says that, but I love B.O.B., but nah, man.
Damn, what you?
And not just because I'm
Those
from
three
Jersey.
were in the top 10 too.
Yeah,
man,
but Fetty actually wrote those songs.
That's
I
fair.
gotta
That's
agree- I
fair.
gotta agree with you.
Atlanta kind of copy and paste the hooks. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna lie.
Atlantic was like, who wants these hits?
Yeah,
Right.
with the hooks tagged
Yeah,
on.
I agree.
Well, the man knows how to pick some hits out of a little Goodwill pile in the lobby.
I
That
ain't
man
mad at
knows
that.
what to
They
get.
were great songs.
They
He
were.
rapped really well on them.
Yes.
There's no saying that they would have been hits with anybody
Right.
else. So
We'll never
props
know.
to him. I'm just saying, Fetty, he whipped all that up.
He
Right,
did.
right.
He did. Shout out to Fetty. Actually, 10 years of Fetty this
Free
year.
Fetty.
Yeah.
Right.
Free
And
Fetty.
I'm gonna quick pick. I'll go with Ace Hood, man. Shout out to Ace, bro.
Wow.
He's hood.
Yeah, man. He
Forgot
was
about
that
Ace
guy,
Hood.
man. Shout out to. Cali kind of. Cali, you my brother, man. But Ace, man. Ace had the talent, bro. Bugatti. What he was able to do with Future, man. Yeah,
Bugatti
bro.
was it. That was like the party.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah,
I think ever since he did that BET joint where the bezel
the
came
watch
off,
fell apart?
Yeah,
Oh,
bro,
yeah.
he kind of was cooked, man. But I still believe in you, brother.
Bugatti was the song that everyone would wait.
Hard.
You wait for the song to
Yeah.
come on in the
Is
party.
that the video where he's in one location and the backgrounds were changing? I just watched the Ace Hood video.
I haven't seen that
I
video
said-
yet.
it might have been to that song, but he's it's one location, just the backgrounds. around
Maybe
them keep changing.
like a black background.
No, it was
I
like
vaguely remember.
Yeah, I have no
changed,
idea.
Like police were on the set.
Okay.
It changed. It was just then it was raining at one point. I'm trying to remember what I just recently watched it, but shout out to Ace
Hey,
Hood.
shout out to Ace Hood, man. We need more Ace Hood, bro. This is gonna be a little bit I don't want to say controversial, but we really gonna hit the barbershop with this one, man.
Where we going? Let's
go.
The good
Okay,
brother
where we
Damien,
going?
the
My
good brother
favorite.
Damien, was doing his he was twittering, going on Twitter, and what the conversation was about, not the current big three, but the old school big three, who's the best MC, Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas. And I'll let you actually take it to give a little bit more context.
Yeah. So there was a tweet that was going around. It hit 3 of my group chats, and the tweet was who's the best lyricist out of these 3? And it was a photo collage of Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas.
Right.
And everyone had it's an old topic that we've gone over so many times, but I think the idea of lyricist is interesting because it kind of removes a lot of the other stuff, not who's just the best or who sold the most, who's the most influential, just who's the best Lyricist. And the one tweet that I forget who said this. I tried to find it. I'm sorry, but it's out there. And just so shout to whoever tweet this was. This guy was like, well, one of them, was just ill, right. And the other one was so ill that he beefed with the other two, and one of them is Jay-Z. Right. I don't think he said the other part, but it's clear, like, the other one was Jay-Z. So, he was like, in his opinion, Nas is the best, and then Biggie. It went through all my group chats. We were all talking about it. My take on it, and I'm very curious to hear everyone else's. I would go with Biggie as a lyricist.
Lyrically. And I'm with you on that.
I'll go with Biggie as I think everyone was pushing back and blah blah blah. You say something like that, yeah, people start sighing and people start like throwing out.
I sigh because it's tough.
But people start throwing out like accolades.
Carl
and
Nas
shit.
Guy, is that what?
I am a Nas guy, but Nas is actually would be third on that list, and I could honestly
that's
say
interesting.
That. It's tough. Man,
I'd put Nas too. Because I think it's Biggie
layers
and then,
to lyricism though. That's the tough part.
Yeah, I think
there's storytelling, there's punchline.
Yeah,
Big had the storytelling.
I think Big had everything.
And, right. Well, that
Big had every aspect of rap. We were talking about this in the office. Biggie was so nasty that I don't think rap has like dramatically moved on from what he's done.
Yeah.
And I think Nas made the best rap album ever. I think Jay-Z has had the best rap career ever. But I think from like a lyric, flow, everything, it's Biggie. He was the guy. I think it was Mal that was talking about on his podcast. There was a clip going around about how Biggs played Jay.
Who Shot Ya? And Jay went and recorded 4 songs.
He said Jay was just in the car stuck, just like
and
listening to it.
Jay said I recorded 4 songs and they still didn't even match up to Who Shot Ya. So right there, it's telling you,
bro,
Jay's has to come second at that point.
A student of
he was saying shit that like,
and he was older. Jay's like 5 years older than him.
Yeah.
So at that time, Big's like 20, 21. Jay's in his 25, and he's looking.
So when y'all listen to Brooklyn's Finest or like I Got the Dough, who you think had better verses?
I think Big. I don't think Jay's ever got big, and I love Jay-Z. I think Jay-Z. I think no one's had a better rap career than Jay-Z. I think he's the bar, but I think for those 2 albums that Biggie released, if someone came to Earth right now, and we had no idea what Biggie was, like who Biggie was, and they were like, I made this album, and just gave you life after death.
In today's era.
Today, like nothing else changed except Biggie. It was not here.
Right.
It would be the best rap album we've heard ever. It would be like
lyrically.
It's just insane, bro. The way he's able to describe things, the way he's able to just string words together, the way he's able to play with flow and intonation, and the way he's just able. He had like a crazy vocabulary. He was using words that. It's funny that everyone says like Nas was like the woke conscious rapper just because he rapped about like self-knowledge and all that other shit, whereas Biggie was using words that like no one.
Other shit.
We're just gonna dismiss that as some that woke bullshit.
It was great.
It was more like poetry in the sense. Nas.
Yeah.
It had depth to.
He was a street poet.
Right.
But Biggie was, to me, and it still is, the best lyricist we've ever had.
I'm gonna agree with you on this. I agree with him on that.
I'll let Trev go before I chime.
I'm stop talking now.
Because I'm still processing.
Clearly, you seem flabbergasted.
Right. No, because you know what it is? With Big, 2 immaculate albums, they're classics, right? I just needed a little bit more game tape. And it's not fair to him, obviously, because he passed.
Take those 2 albums.
Yes,
I hear you. But look how Jay has been able to evolve lyrically.
Yeah.
Is that because Jay had more time?
It is.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's not Big's fault.
But even with that
it's
time,
not Big's fault.
But even with that time, what Jay's song
I think Jay had way more flows, bro. And that's because of time being on his side, him being able to develop those new flows.
Right. Jay was more witty.
His bars
more witty.
I may even say on the storytelling, like I think of something like Meet the Parents.
Get the fuck out of here.
I don't know.
Listen,
I think of Meet the Parents.
Where were you when Blueprint 2 came out? Niggas were clowning Jay for making that song.
What?
Yes,
I mean,
bro.
to be fair, I was like 13.
Niggas were clowning Jay.
But I thought Meet the Parents was hard.
Hell no.
Wow.
Wow. Come on, bro. I love
really?
Jay-Z,
What can't you like about Meet the Parents?
bro, just think of the context of the time when it came out. He's beefing with Nas, who by all standards, after Biggie, maybe even above Biggie, is the best storytelling rapper ever, besides maybe like Slick Rick. He's in this beef. Whoever wins it is your opinion. We're not going to litigate that right now.
Right.
But one of the talking points during that battle was that Jay can't rap like Nas. Like, Jay can't do the storytelling shit like Nas. Out of nowhere, he drops this album. And then he has this song, Meet the Parents. Dog, Jay doesn't make songs like that.
I didn't think it was that.
Jay doesn't make songs like that.
Bad. That's crazy.
And then it's like it's such like a blatant like statement of being like, yo, look, I can do this.
So you know what? Let's do this, right? If we're talking witty in terms of like, I'm gonna say Jay has the best punchlines.
Yes.
I think it's a toss up because I think Nas is an immaculate storyteller. I think it's on any day between Big and Nas. I'm not gonna dispute that. You know, like freaking Black Girl Laws, freaking.
I think storytelling, I would have to put Slick Rick in there. Also, I think story.
I gave you power. You know, like
I think Nas, it's tough, but still Biggie for me.
I need more game tape, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. Like,
I
I
only got the game tape you got.
I need game tape. That's why Big is like, I would go overall lyricism. I would go Jay, then Nas, then Big.
Overall lyricism.
Yeah.
Wait, what does that mean?
I feel like, you know what? Damn, bro.
What is overall lyricism?
Because we're talking about, again, I think when it comes to punchlines, I think Jay is one of the best, if not the best at punchlines.
Okay.
Storytelling, you're giving my guy a C.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of like, which is kind of inflammatory.
That's
so that brings him down.
Kind. That's kind.
Right.
A C, I would say.
And then when it comes to flows and Jay's flows, of being able to be in pocket with so many different deliveries, bro.
I mean, Jay could ride the beat like
crazy, bro. Now I will say lately, the last few years, he's kind of
Shock G called Biggie like
he hasn't been riding the beat that well. I will say that. Like God did, he did not, and I love the verse on God did, even though cats thought I was like sucking him crazy. I will say he was not in pocket on that verse.
Yeah, but that's like what, 50,
That's
80
80 bars.
Correct, like, you know,
that was 80 bars, but this cat's
not even competing at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm not gonna. Right.
What about this Grammy family freestyle, bro?
Sure. That's great. I'm saying it's great. Yeah, it's a great.
What about his freestyle he did with Big L?
You're arguing from the position of someone saying that Jay-Z can't rap.
I'm arguing.
Which I'm not saying. I'm not saying Jay-Z can't rap. I'm saying
not
as a lyricist, as a lyricist, Biggie is better. I think in terms of like the types of raps that Biggie was able to give you, just he was able to write like a novelist.
Right. At the age of 20,
at the age of
21,
like,
yeah,
the dude was a child.
23
he was a
is crazy.
child
23,
writing.
Yeah.
You know, he was writing stories like he would paint pictures for you. Like you're by the hydrant and you walk up the steps and like I don't see that in anybody else.
You think Big could play in this era?
Yeah, bro. I don't think rap has changed that much from Biggie. I think.
No, I'm just asking. I'm not saying he can't. I'm just curious.
And we've talked about this before. I think there's if you go through rap, there was a time when rap was changing every year.
Okay.
Like you couldn't be a dope rapper in '92 if you were still rapping the way they did in '89, because rap was so different. That's why LL Cool J is the true GOAT. But
I don't know if I could see Big rapping on a Future beat.
Why
I mean,
not?
but the thing is, like, Big could play. Big will always
anything.
play. Now, whether the kids receive it or whether like it's hot, I think it's a whole different kind of game.
He could do it. I don't know how it would translate.
Right.
But like that's like saying like
Jay did. I got the keys.
Could Kendrick drop on a Future beat? Sure. Would it? Is that what we want? I don't particularly think so.
But I'm saying Jay from that '90s era and him still being able to, like I said, he did with Future. The I got the keys shit was flowing on that. I don't know if cats from that, like even Nas, I can't hear Nas. I mean, he tried the March Madness shit. That wasn't really hitting like that.
I don't know, man. I think Biggie has a way more dexterous flow than Nas.
Yes,
has.
I agree.
I think if
but
you
Nas,
think
Nas
about
never really
if you
took chances like that lyrically, and that's why I'll give
Sure.
Big an edge in that.
if you think about like where rap was in 1996, and you look at like who we collectively believe are the big three now, which is Drake, Kendrick,
Cole.
Cole, they don't rap that different than him.
No, you're right.
If anything, I don't know if they rap better than him. I don't know if any of them have raps better than what's on Life After Death.
If I say what I'm gonna say,
You're gonna say Drake has a
say
better.
it.
no, I would
Oh.
never say Drake. I'll never say Drake.
You was gonna say
No. And I've said
not
this before.
Kendrick?
No,
Okay.
I still think. I think Cole, as much shit as he gets, from a dexterity level, I think he could very much go toe to toe with a Biggie. I think he could go toe to toe with a Jay. Especially this new version of Cole that we're getting right now. Like what I heard on Clouds, the way he was able to flow and the punches hit, I don't think there's cats that could compete with Cole on that level right now unless they're Ghost. Maybe M.
Yeah, that's
you
fair.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But even still, rap hasn't even like the style of rap that Cole employs is
It's
not
from the
that
90s.
different
Yeah,
from.
from the 90s.
And that's not to say like
He's a
that's
product
not
of that.
bad or
Yeah.
and that's not even just those three. That's like the type of rap that is being produced by like a Playboy Carti, for example. If this were like the early 2000s and you're like a radio guy, so keep me honest here. I don't even know if that would be considered rap.
No, not then.
Like if a woman made the type of music that Playboy Carti makes in like the early 2000s, that's R&B or that's like some kind of like non-rap.
Yeah, that's
aside.
some other,
outside of the rap
Yeah.
category.
Yeah, some alty kind of shit. Like you don't know where you put it. Like
It's strange. But for the most part, the lion's share of what is produced rap wise is still what these three guys were doing in the 90s.
That's fair.
And so yeah, I think Biggie would be fine right now.
Okay. Before we pivot to the next topic, because it is somewhat similar to what we were just talking about, guys, in the comments, if you have any questions for the good brother DJ Drewski, drop them now.
We're here.
ASAP.
They might get mad that we put Big first, though.
I mean, listen, I didn't put Big first, but, whatever y'all got in
Wait,
mind.
so
I said
big.
Trev was still deliberating.
What's funny is
Trev skated out of there.
as I was prepping coming through here, I was like, I was set that I was gonna have Nas as my number one, but as I'm sitting here and I'm like trying to replay catalogs in my head real quick, like the whole way. I mean, it's a compelling case for Big but the thing with Big is, I guess it's always been hard for me to I guess extract all those other parts about him because I love Big's flow, I love his voice, I love like just the cleverness he brings in a way that, and I mean the production and the beats and everything, like it's so hard for me to extrapolate all that from my listening experience. Like if I want to go listen to some shit, like I guess like and really like you said, like in a poetry kind of decipher way, that's why I'm thinking, that's why I'm going Nas. Like if I really wanted to sit and like hear something, because if I want to, with the mood that I want to hear Biggie or for the most part Jay in is a different kind of environment. Right. So, which I guess is, it's not to say that Big and Jay are not great lyricists, but in some ways, it gets mixed in that cake with all the production, all the flow. Like, obviously, Jay's got some of the best producers ever. Mm-hmm. Like, you looking at someone like, whether it's, Pharrell or Kanye or Timbo, whoever the fuck, it's like hard for me to take that out of it because I don't think Nas' production is like on that same level.
No,
so the lyrics have to kind of make up for that. To match that great catalog, so that's why that's a good point. But that's why I think he shook his head when I said that.
No, I was just laughing because it's been like the knock against Nas for like
and I love Nas, and that's on Nas.
So that's why I'm
hilarious because Nas is the guy that kind of like ushered in the era of like the super producer album. Yeah, like he was the guy that was like, oh, I'm gonna get all the best producers on one album and then see what happens, as opposed to like, oh, I'm gonna make this with this one DJ producer I have.
Yeah,
like it was in my crew. I was gonna work with that guy, and Nas was like, nah, all the hot.
Yeah.
And then it went from that to like, damn, Nas can't pick a beat. Yeah, to save his life.
Yeah, but I think again, before we pivot, I'll say this: I think that's what makes Jay so unique in that unicorn. Mm-hmm. The fact that he can rap and make something like a Dead Presidents, but he could also make a Give It to You. You know what I'm saying? I love Nas to death, and when he tried to make those bubblegum, genuine, you owe me type shit, it didn't resonate.
Right.
So I think now I'll change it up, and I'll say Jay and Big, because Big could give you one more chance, but he could give you Who Shot You.
Who Shot You,
yeah.
So I will say that.
So what, is it Nas? Is that... He still ain't
Yeah,
getting
he
it.
still
still
ain't.
ain't getting it.
Yo, it's
Man,
like it's. If I gotta
You
pick,
do Nasir, man.
so you said Big too?
No, I didn't say big.
Oh, you.
I kind of skated. I didn't say nothing.
Oh,
He's giving
Oh,
Jay-Z
okay.
vibes.
It's giving-
I'm giving
it's
Jay.
giving
I'm giving
Jay
Jay.
vibes.
Okay. Then you know what? Just yeah, I'll throw my hat for Nas.
Yeah, there we go. Give
Yeah.
Nasir.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
QB,
yeah.
what up,
Okay, yeah.
man? Shout out to
Queen.
Shout out to Braveheart.
That's
man.
it. Yeah.
But this is a great entry point to our last topic. Speaking of the big three, j.cole, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake. Fellas, which one of those three would make a great artist and have a successful career in the 90s? Walked into that portal and they're walking into Tupac.
And this is
Going
like
West
everything.
Coast rap,
Everything is the
90s.
same.
Everything's the
in the 90s.
same.
We're just
Everything-
dropping these.
We're just
guys.
dropping them in.
And we're saying who's gonna have the best career.
Best career, yeah.
Okay.
I'm watching the live, by the way, to see if we could.
I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say Cole. And this is not,
And let me
no
let me
affiliations.
and let me put it
Just
out there
saying.
too. We're taking these guys in their current forms right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in that 2025.
Yep.
The music they're making today.
Yep.
Right now.
Wait.
And playing it in the 90s.
Yep.
No, why you gotta do?
Starting
Wait,
from,
no.
starting From today, or
Starting
not?
from today.
No, we gotta
Oh,
be
you wanna
able
start
to.
from the
we
beginning?
gotta like you bring
Because their styles change. That's why I said
yeah,
that.
but I'm bringing that
Yeah,
whole. I'm bringing that whole person.
The whole.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Because
saying.
2025, Drake has like 2018 Drake, like all those
no. I'm saying
forms
where
are
they
in
are
him.
right now artistically.
Okay.
What would work?
Okay.
in the
Drake's
90s.
changed
Yeah.
over the.
That's why I'm saying,
course
like,
of
bring
his
him,
career.
like, today, like, yo, we're taking Kendrick, Drake, and Cole right now. We're throwing them in the 90s.
But that
yeah.
means like 2025 Drake can do things that like 2014 Drake did.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can 2025 Drake do things 2018 Drake did?
He probably gets shitted on. I mean, if he
He
made
has the mental
bubble
somewhere
gum
in
thing.
the
Right.
recesses of his mind, the mental ability is still there.
It's very generous.
I'm just trying to set. I'm making sure I'm playing by the rules.
Are you standing with Cole?
I think Cole, and here's why. I think Cole because if you're thinking about the 90s and thinking about like what was popping, what was culturally acceptable, which is like a big thing that I think a lot of people don't weigh in on. I think he's the one who is most aligned with what was popping back then, as opposed to Drake, who I think makes great music, but I don't know if that would have worked in the 90s. It's like Drake is very much, all these guys to a certain extent, but I think Drake is very much a beneficiary of Kanye West, right? Like the change that took place because of Kanye, Drake benefited from greatly. But of course they all did, but I think that's the one where it's like, oh, you could do anything now. You can like sing, you can make rap that's not really rap music and all that stuff. But back then that shit wasn't flying.
Right. Yeah, you got cats like Pac wearing his Timbs, doing juice. Yeah, like Drake can't come through with "In My Feelings."
Yeah,
Yeah.
or even like Marvin's Room. I think that was a song that I was shocked that everyone loved, even people who I thought were like hip hop diehards. They were like, this shit is hard.
I mean, to this day, people think it's like a top 3 Drake song all time.
And that's when I knew, like, damn, shit's really changed. Like, shit's really, like, we're in a different time now.
Yeah.
Right?
So let me pose this, because let's say if he did bring that singing, rapping hallmark ability of his, couldn't that like shake up the game the same way it did in the 2010s because it was something new and different?
Right.
But it wasn't new and it was new and different.
For
but
the
it
90s,
was,
I'm saying.
But I'm saying like for it to work in the 2010s, we had to go through all this other. Like we had to go through Lauryn Hill, we had to go through Kanye, we had to go through, Little Brother. We had to go through all these things that kind of like softened everybody up to like get to this point where Drake could be Drake. And that's to say for Kendrick too. I think if Kendrick were in the 90s, I think Kendrick is, a fucking amazing rapper, like
right.
prodigiously talented. I think if he were to be his full self as he is now in the 90s, he might get relegated to like, Ruckus or something. Like,
Drake would have been a bad boy artist I feel like.
But
back-
those choruses would need to be sung by Total, or like I'm serious, or like 112.
Right,
not
not Kelly Price in
don't
the
know about
back.
that.
Like
I feel like Puff.
Puff would have, yeah.
Puff would let him live.
Back in the 90s,
I think Puff would let him live.
I do think, as I was looking at this, I was like, one thing that Drake is obviously so inspired by is like his '90s muses, like Aaliyah or a Mariah or a Mary or somebody.
Could you imagine Drake and Aaliyah, prime Aaliyah?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm wondering. Like Drake might actually have a lot. Like he might have played well in the '90s in that
You
sense.
guys are forgetting
Now-
the 90s. I think you guys are forgetting what the 90s were like.
Now, he is such a chameleon to where he would have been able to
agree.
blend in.
Sure, but
seamlessly.
I'm saying like, is Drake if he doesn't make Drake is Drake because of what he was
I
able
get what
to
you're saying
do.
because of his influence, but I'm saying if you bring Drake right now
To
with
the
those
90s.
talents, yeah.
You're saying like making the music that he makes.
Yes.
So I'm saying, so what you're saying is he wouldn't make the music that he's making now.
Yo, this little sci-fi loop got crazy. I mean, I get what he's saying.
Right.
He's saying like
You're saying like, oh, he
Drake
would just,
can't
he would
exist
just
because
change.
that
and he
never
would-
happened. Like
he'd be Tupac.
No.
just-
I'm saying if Drake went in there to the 90s with his current skill set, he would be able to thrive because he could play in
I
so
think they
many
would all
buckets.
they're all amazing rappers. They'd all be able to thrive. But I'm
Right.
saying like if you were to just take their music and not change them, just take them, pick them up and be like, boom, you're in the
I get what
you're
you're
in
saying.
95.
You gotta,
and we're
you gotta
gonna release
play-
your album. We're
Right,
gonna
right,
release
right.
Views, or we're gonna release Take Care
Right.
in 96.
Oh, I'm not even. I'm saying fuck the project. I'm saying just the artist and the skill set themselves.
Well, then they would, I mean, they would all do it. But I think that's the ability to adapt. I think is inherent.
Right.
I don't think any of them would not be able to adapt. I think
Okay.
the one who would have to adapt least, and that's why I think he
Is-
would
is
be
Cole.
best, is Cole.
Okay.
I
That
disagree.
Because
I feel like he's not aggressive enough for the 90s.
Interesting.
As far as
oh,
personality, talent,
well,
wise. But in the 90s, they were
early
super
Cole
aggressive.
on the features, he was an
Interesting.
animal.
Well, a
bro.
dog,
Interesting.
yeah.
I still don't feel like he would be aggressive enough to compete with at that era, that time,
Right.
with the artists and the rappers that he would thrive, but he wouldn't be top.
Right.
You know, he would have his lane, and he's not aggressive enough. Where I see Kendrick could come, with the aggression.
He'll jump in the ring. Like,
That's what I'm saying. He'll jump in
Are
the
you
ring. He
saying-
got the bars. He can compete. He'll be a part of those ciphers. He don't.
Are you saying his lack of aggression comes from him stepping away from the battle?
No, not before
Okay,
that.
because
I
I feel
just
like the
him as
aggression was always
his
there.
personality
Wow.
is just. And I'm trying to think who we would compare him to. Like he would be part of the whole
You low-
tribe.
you low key.
Know,
But-
like that.
I do
Yeah,
like
that
Common.
corner.
It wasn't
That-
considered
yeah.
aggressive, but when he needed
I
to
mean,
step up
he-
to the
yeah,
plate
he did what he
against
had to
West
do.
Side Connection and Cube, he did what he had to do. So I think Cole's still the kid. Like, yeah, he's a little light skinned nigga, but like, don't test me. You know, what I'm
He still
saying?
got the dog in him. Okay.
Yeah, he still got some bark in him.
He
I think.
does, but in the 90s, I feel like it was just a little different.
Okay.
And
Wow.
I think
don't know.
he could. I think he could hold his own. Like the Kendrick thing is interesting to me because I think if Kendrick were to be Kendrick right now, back then, like I'm also trying to figure out like who's the analog for that.
Right.
And back then, all the voices and like the way he's able to kind of violently swing from introspection and world affairs to what's going on the street.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if that was like be too much for the time. Like Ice Cube, yeah. Pac is like a good, but Pac was like so.
I think he's a combination of both. He would have been.
Yeah, it's tough for me to
That's
figure
where I
out
feel
like
like
where
he
the
would
analog
win
is.
because
Yeah. He would be very impactful regionally. Like, I think he wouldn't be as mainstream as he is now, but I think he would be a West Coast icon.
Mhm.
Like an icon like Cube and Cali,
But the thing about Kendrick and mainstream, and I would agree with that all the way till probably this last era, because people always talk about how, the thing about Kendrick was always, Kendrick could, if Kendrick really wanted to, he could come out and make banger after banger and top these charts and do this and do that. And everyone was kind of like, if he wanted to, he wanted. And clearly when he wants to, he can.
Yeah.
So I think, like, even in terms of that flexibility, like, we haven't seen the full extent of what Kendrick can really do, because when he wants to put his mind to do some shit and take it over,
Clearly,
he can. If he
yeah.
wants some introspective,
Yeah.
kind of like low key, I'm therapy album, he can. So I think to say he wouldn't necessarily thrive in the 90s, I think he would survey that landscape and he could jump in wherever he wants to and
Right.
dominate, from top to bottom however he felt.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Tupac makes me think that Kendrick could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thinking back on it now, thinking back on like the totality of Pac and like all that Pac was able to do, and like I don't think Pac was the greatest rapper
Not at all.
at all.
Not at all.
But I think where him and Kendrick align is that ability to just have such like an omnibus idea of what to rap about. Like they were rapping, like Pac was rapping about shit that you go from, Brandon's Got a Baby, but I Get Around, and then he has fucking Keep Your Head Up, and then just like the most gangster shit you've ever heard,
Right.
and then Dear Mama.
Yeah.
It's like
And how do you want
Gemini,
it?
and then like
Gemini shit,
White Man's World, and then he just was able to do these crazy gymnastics with it lyrically. I mean, fucking subject wise,
Right.
I think Kendrick would also be able to do that.
Geminis, man.
But
Gemini.
it might come with Kendrick having to
Right.
do some shit.
If we brought our last topic into this one, and I had to like cross compare, I would say like Cole is the Nas to Drake being J, and then Kendrick Big.
Interesting.
If if we had to play on that, to
Interesting.
me that's how I would compare it.
I'm not mad at that. I'm gonna stay on this because to Trevor's point, man, I feel like an R&B Drake in the '90s, Drake, SWV, Drake, Aaliyah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're saying he would
But it's
do
Drake
that and
R&B,
still rap.
Yeah.
The way
And
he
do it well.
samples
He
or
can
like
do it well.
sings now,
And do it well.
He could do it well.
You have to remember when he first came
I'm not saying
into
he could do it well.
when he first
but
came into hip hop, he had East Coast roots, like you mentioned.
he rapped like Little Brother.
like
Right.
Lil
Yeah.
Brother, like Joe Budden
Yeah.
in some cases. So it's not like he couldn't get his hands dirty
Mhm.
if he needed to on the rap side. But I think his versatility would work in his favor, where he can grab cats in multiple sectors, whether it's R&B, get the girls, whether it's hip hop and the street niggas, because he was also, as
you're
we
telling
know,
me-
a battler.
You're
He was a
telling
battler
me-
in
I get that
Julius.
R&B
So-
one. I got you.
You're
Street-
telling me
the
that
streets would be
Drake
interesting.
would be able to survive.
I'm not saying the boom, like the. He's
the
not
rap
about
shit
that
is not.
life.
Is
Well,
not
shit,
even where I
most
fall
people
down.
don't survive that
He's
shit.
not
I
about
mean,
that
the
life.
drop-
ask the police department. Shit.
The rap shit is not even where I fall down with it. It's like it's really the R&B part, because
You don't think Drake could be like in Bone Thugs, a
Bro.
little Drizzy Bone or something?
Right.
Like,
that was Bone Thugs were a street group that for some reason were
You think 'cause he's
figured out.
light-skinned, he would've
No,
got shitted on,
them
man.
niggas were light skinned.
But
They were all
but
light skinned from
they have
Cleveland.
They have more of a street hood politics appeal.
Right. And story, their background.
Right.
And they were rapping. They were like street rapping about crazy shit. Their flow was nuts. Like speaking of Biggie, one of the best rap songs ever.
Notorious Thugs. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if Drake were to be Drake, and that means Marvin's Room,
think
and that
he get
means
cooked?
having, imagine him in a world with DMX, where DMX is in his prime.
oh, D-Back's gonna chew him up, yo.
But guess what? The girls are still buying the CD.
I'm just,
Drake's still going triple plat.
Bro, girls
I'm not-
love
yeah.
DMX. Like,
And girls
just
love- come
think
on.
back to 1997, bro.
Come on, man.
Y'all niggas are not really thinking about what the 90s were like.
That's why I said it was so aggressive.
It was
back
so
then.
nuts.
Yeah, like,
Listen, man. I think he would have found his way.
Bro,
man.
Ja Rule almost lost his career because 50 Cent said he's doing what Drake does now. That was 50's whole diss
right,
to
right,
Ja
right,
Rule.
Right.
but I guess it would depend on how Drake presents himself too. Like if he's trying to be hard and you can like
Zombie
dissect
looking
that.
nigga.
But if he presents himself a little soft, now I know what you say. If you present yourself soft, you're never gonna even like take off from the landing pad.
Bro.
But
and he would be able to defend
But part of,
himself.
like,
It became
Ja-
the bars.
Bro, you're acting like Ja Rule wasn't a great rapper. Like
He's not Drake.
clearly, because 50 Cent ended that nigga, dog.
Come on, don't do that.
Imagine,
man.
I'm just saying, you're thinking of this as if like you're not thinking about these niggas in their prime with like
I
all the
am.
power in the world.
And Drake's prime body all them, bro.
Bro, that's because the world is
Drake,
the
hold on,
world.
Drake's prime doesn't body Ja Rule's prime. Let's keep it a stack.
It's because of the world
not
that
because
we're
of the
in.
world.
Yes, it is, bro.
Musically, he bodied-
there's no Drake without the fucking transformation the game went
from
through.
an influence standpoint, I get that, but I'm
You-
saying
I just feel like you get that, bro.
No, because
I don't feel
listen,
like you get it. I don't feel like you get it, bro.
I could be influenced by somebody else. I mean, I don't end up better than them.
It's not the influence on
At
you.
that
It's
time.
the game that changes because of that person.
right. Like
The game was
Ja Rule walked so Drake could run. basically.
And Kanye,
and Drake
Kanye
running
knocked
past
this.
niggas. That's what I'm
Kanye
saying.
knocked the door down for all these people.
Yeah.
Of course.
But if that doesn't happen,
there's no.
You trying to bring AI to 1992 and they ain't even no cord to
they
plug
don't
in the
have
internet.
iPhones
You
or
thinking
nothing.
too
Niggas
far.
trying to
with
play with
technicality.
Twitter.
That's what it is.
What
With
Twitter do?
technicality,
Like,
you
man,
know.
These niggas don't know what Twitter
we
is.
doing technicality. We trying to play fantasy right now, man.
I'm not. No one is doubting Drake's ability to make great music or the
That's
fact
like
that he
saying
can, like,
there would be no Nas if there was no Rakim. Like
Yeah.
we get that. I understand, but we fantasy booking right now. That's all we doing.
we're fantasy booking, but the world is still the world.
Right.
I guess.
The world is
I
still the
really-
world. Like the entire 50 Cent Ja Rule beef was 50 Cent being like, this nigga is soft. He's not fucking rapping about what he's actually rapping
And 50
about.
did the same thing.
Exactly.
Damn.
That proves
And I
my
love
point.
50.
50
That
got
was-
away with it. So
I
that's
love
my
it, but
point.
the next album, fucking Candy Shot.
Yo,
And niggas even got
Yo,
on
shout out
got
to
on him for that.
Shout out to
When 50
Olivia
Cent
for
did it,
getting
niggas was
that
like,
flag.
oh, look at this nigga right here, just fucking. He's doing the same shit he was claiming that Ja did, and he didn't even do half the shit that Drake's actually out here like singing,
Right. R&B records.
like Jodeci.
like a whole album. Yeah.
I would have loved to see that kind of package in the 90s.
Dog, I
I'll
remember
say that.
having a fucking Jodeci and a Drew Hill CD going to school one day, and this is how old I am. I had the CD fucking in the lunchroom, had mad CDs, like, you know, I had mad rap shit, but I had these two CDs. I took them out. This nigga in my school was like, oh man, D, what the fuck you doing with these boy band ass fucking CDs, nigga?
Wow.
Bro, I was like, what? Like, you don't fuck with Jodeci?
Right.
But guess what?
But they do fuck with Jodeci, just not in public. Jog,
They
if Drake,
would have done the same same shit with Drake, bro.
but I'm saying it would be different for Drake because he's rapping. Them niggas would have.
Can you imagine
Gotten on him.
a hip hop John B, bro?
But like, so you, I
No,
mean,
I cannot.
I love you thinking.
Crazy.
Maybe-
No, they would have done the same shit. Like, yo, this nigga Dame got this bullshit, but they got the
Yo.
CD at the
Yo, they
crib.
gon- yo,
But they
Drake,
got the-
Drake, Aaliyah, Drake,
Cats
Mariah,
do that right now.
Drake, TLC, like Drake.
Cats
yo,
do that right now.
that's-
They're shitting on Drake, but yet they're bumping some sexy songs.
But who
right
was your
now,
number
bro.
one Spotify
But
artist
there was a
last
long
year?
time
We
where they
saw
weren't
this
shitting
shit.
on Drake. Like Drake actually won. Like around the time Marvin's Room came out, that was when it was like, oh, it's over. Like he's just the guy.
Well, Drake would have to been a pioneer in multiple timelines. It sound like
Yeah,
I
we gotta
mean,
do some
problem is
Marvel
the
shit, bro.
first niggas
some
at the door usually get
what
shot.
if.
So,
Yeah, some what if shit, bro. That's all I'm saying, man.
all right.
Oh man. Before we go, let's go back to the chat. We have any questions for the good
Yeah, we
brother?
have one. Let's see. From Omfile 750. That's an
Okay.
interesting name. Is Kendrick really ahead of the pack of this generation? Ahead of the pack is interesting. I don't.
Nah.
Right now. I'll give him right now.
When you say ahead of the pack, do you mean the most successful or just the
like
best?
Bound-
I think, is he in the lead? I
Boundary
think
breaking,
is he in the lead right now? That's how I look at it.
In the lead?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ahead, though. He's not.
I think he's in the lead
Wait,
right
is
now.
it in the lead and the head the same thing?
Yeah, I think he's in the lead right now.
I mean, I got the source. I ain't got the source. I'm just, you know.
I think he's in the lead right now.
I think he's unquestionable. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like in let's say 2025 or past 6 months, unquestionable.
He's the hottest
Right,
rapper
right,
right,
right.
now.
Right.
that could change.
Breaks my heart. But,
I mean, if cats want to say
It's
boundary
I feel like
breakers,
it's
that could be
going to
somebody
change.
different.
Yeah,
It's going to change.
with who? Who do you think is gonna potentially take
I
that?
feel like Drake still got it. Like he still has it.
I didn't say it.
Well, y'all better
Yeah,
start
I know
streaming
it is.
Nokia or something like.
So I saw something that said today, like now it's starting to get pushed to radio. I think that is Somebody Loves Me starting to get pushed to radio. So
Yeah, I mean,
conversations may change
Right.
in the
yeah,
next
they are
few
definitely
weeks.
coming
It's
up.
going to
I mean,
change.
Nokia, you know, we saw it. It's taken off on TikTok.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
you know, becoming a people's champ kind of sound. You know, I mean, there's a couple things you could play with it with the video. Maybe there could be some fun with that. Obviously, it's gonna get pushed to radio. You know, radio takes a minute to get really like in the huge heat of things. So honestly, that could be a good like summertime, kind of peaking around May, June, or
Right.
something like that. That's the right sound for that kind of song. So, you know, things could line up.
Right.
But I mean, like, you know, you look at Luther right now. Luther's running circles on everything in general. So
Right.
that's, you know, it's not like the gangway's kind of open.
Trevor,
But,
no one's fucking with Deeper.
I mean, people fuck with it. I mean, they're not
It's
pushing
not
it
like-
they're not pushing it as any,
That's
sort
surprising.
of.
That song's fire.
It's like
Sort of
the best record on the album.
But I mean, that's the thing is, like we talked about this a little bit last time. All the Drake, any Drake side project, it's always the rap records that take off.
Right.
Jimmy Cooks was the one that took off from Honestly Nevermind. Now we see with Gimme a Hug, Nokia, the ones that are more straightforward. That's what the audience wants from him.
Yeah.
It seems like those are the sure bets. And obviously look at Drake right now, and you probably think he wants a sure bet record, so they're gonna push something that's a little safer.
Right.
They are pushing the Parties. Somebody Loves Me, so obviously Party's getting his own shine because those two records that are really taking off are both Drake solo records. So there's probably something that's like, this is a collab album. Let's
surprise.
push something that's a collab.
Surprise.
But-
I thought he was being held back though. I thought he was being throttled. Thank you for your question, I'm File.
That's funny, man.
The next one we
Terrible.
got from Michael Brown says, if you could pair any of the big three with a single 90s producer, who would it be?
Big three. Today's big three?
Yeah.
I'd go Cole Primo.
Yeah. It had to be like prime Primo.
Yeah.
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 Prime Primo, yeah.
I'm gonna assume that all the producers are like in their prime in the
Yeah.
90s
Yeah.
here. Man. I mean, I would love to hear Timbo and Drake.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
they
yeah.
never worked.
Say something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I would love to
But
just
prime
hear.
Timbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was early Drake.
Like almost like Timbo Missy Drake.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Like I
I'm
would
trying to think
love
of
to hear
something
that.
left, like Rockwaller and Kendrick or something.
Mm. I'm
Um,
not mad at that.
Yeah, like something.
I
Like
think
that would
Kendrick
hit.
then like what's his name? Jay Swift.
Okay.
From Far Side
Okay.
would be fire.
What about Dot and Q-Tip?
I mean, yeah, I would like
Oh, yeah,
that
that's-
now.
that's
Q-Tip,
cool.
man.
That's
I
a
would like
good
that
one.
right now.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
I would like that to happen today, please.
Yo.
You kind of expect something like
I love that
When
LL
you
Cool J
hear it,
album.
It
I was
just
gonna
sounds
say.
like
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah, I know Tip still got some leftover beats.
I love that LL Cool J
Yeah.
album. I would love Tip to give Kendrick some stuff.
Shout out to GOAT, man. LL, bro. Give him his flowers.
I'm trying to think of something like super. Drake and I mean, we were just talking about him before the show started, but I think Drake and like a R&B producer would be great. Like Drake and like
Drake and Tim and Bob.
or
Like
Jimmy
Jermaine or
Jam
somebody?
or
Oh,
Jimmy Jam and Terry
Jimmy
Lewis
Jam.
for a whole album. That would be
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
If Drake made like a real R&B project and like
You
got
throw,
them to do it.
listen, man, I'll let y'all take the 90s. If you throw Drake in early 2000s with the R&B sonics, bro.
But I would even want like Drake and
Shit.
like even like Drake and Dallas Austin could do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Drake and I'm blanking who
Thing is, Drake, I feel like could work with any
Anybody.
producer.
Yeah.
That's the
Anybody.
Yeah.
crazy part.
Yeah.
Scott Storch and
Yeah,
Drake.
I mean, Drake and Kanye, man. Drake and Kanye, bro. Peace for Drake and Kanye, bro.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been nuts. The one time we almost had it.
I mean, we had Glow, you know. That,
Yeah, but I mean, like, yeah.
you know, that poopty scoop, man.
Yeah, like, that's
break
the
my
one
heart,
where it was like,
yeah.
man, that beat. When I first heard that beat, I was like, oof, this is
Yeah, Kanye's a super troll, man.
this is it.
Before we go, man, Drewski, temperature check for New
Wait,
York.
there's
since-
one more question.
Oh, there's one more. Okay, go
One more
ahead.
question from the homie Kyle Dennis.
Big KD.
oh come on.
Do you guys think either Cole or Drake would benefit from doing what Wiz is doing right now in terms of focusing on delivering solid freestyles and reminding us why we love them?
I don't think they have to.
I don't think they need
I don't,
to.
Yeah, I don't think
I
they
think the
have
Clouds track shows that people love Cole and that, you know, I think for him, I don't know what the deal with the album is or like what he's working on or anything like that, but I think for Cole, I think his fans would love it.
Yeah.
Drake, I don't know. It wouldn't hurt, but it's like, does
Drake
Drake
can't do
need-
anything right
Yeah,
now.
so I
Yeah.
think it might do more harm than good, even if they're good.
Cats are just gonna hate. We're at that point, man.
Well, everything's so. I mean, especially when you get to that level, a freestyle versus a single. I mean, we saw all the drops with like 100 gigs that were kind of these random assortments, and people are so quick to take them as official releases, no matter where they go. And I don't even know. Like that to me is almost just more of a semantic distinction for them, like on
Right.
that kind of top level than versus someone like a Wiz or somebody like that. I don't know if cats would even receive it differently.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
anything you put out is just a new Drake song. It's a new Drake song. It's a new Drake song. So
Yeah, the Wiz stuff is like he's been gone for so long.
Right.
That it's just like a breath of fresh air to hear him.
All right.
And then damn, Drake taking other beats and just
That would be fire though. That would be fire.
Like reinventing them or whatever.
If Drake went on like
Freestyle.
his early Lil Wayne run and started jacking beats, I'll be here for it.
Or get back on the features bag, man. That's.
Nah, if he just went straight mixtape, old school mixtape, and just like took all the hot beats from right now and just murdered them, I'll be here for that.
You know what's crazy though? Shout out to my brother, the baby, man. Because the baby did that, nobody cared. Like I don't know what niggas want, man. Like the baby legit did that like last year, bro. He was hopping on all the fire beats, bodying them, and
Nobody cares.
You know, we in an artist-driven time. They want they want Drake. They want a name
bro.
brand.
I'm convinced that's where we at. Cats don't know what they
People
want.
want a name brand
I think they
thing.
want
You know,
Man, Drewski, before we go, man, I need a quick temperature check on New York City, man.
New York.
Yeah, man.
Youth.
What do we need? What are we missing right now? I mean, there's some cats you looking at right now that we should be privy to.
Right. There's a lot of young cats, but I feel like New York, when it comes to the new artists, we're missing the lyricism, right? We have the sexy drill, and shout out to Cash Cobain and that whole slizzy movement, which is holding New York down. You know, when it comes to the kids, drill, I feel like it kind of peaked.
Yeah.
The drill artists, but you have some good artists, but I feel like even we were talking about earlier with our Summer Jam festivals, you know, like our concert, and trying to figure out who's that New York artist that could move the needle. I don't feel like we have that right now. Unless you guys feel differently, but there's no one right now that could really move it. When it comes to new artists,
Yeah.
maybe we have a lot of great young artists, but I feel like it's not really growing out of New York.
Why do you think that is? Like, what is it? Is this like New York itself is changing? Is it?
Yeah, I just feel like maybe the music is changing, and they're trying to figure out, you know, where do I go as a new artist? They're all going to what they feel is like comfortable. Like, I know this will work in my backyard, so I'm gonna make drill records. I'm gonna make sexy drill records. You know, so they're just trying to. I don't know. It's just hard. I can't name someone that I really feel like could hold down the city when it comes to overall.
Yeah, kind of the sub pockets. Like I know Memphis, Detroit are probably the biggest ones that are getting like national play out of out of those kind of pockets. Yeah.
Damn. I mean, but Detroit it's felt like, at least for the past, I want to say 5 years or so, that Detroit's just been turning out new artists.
I was gonna say,
right.
Like a factor.
They can't stop.
Yeah.
And
we're getting new artists, but they're just not growing out of New York.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not growing out of the tri-state, to me.
Yeah.
it's that damn justification.
Man, shout out to A Boogie, man.
Right.
Well, I was gonna say that the Zeddy, Zeddy Will getting a couple records out here.
Zeddy Will, shout out to Zeddy.
Yeah, they
He was on
started
our artist to watch
twerking
list.
with your friends and
So-
my guy.
tripping and stuff. They're
Yeah.
they're moving.
They
They make
TikTok
them,
cat, man.
But they're using the social media to really go crazy, but it's
Right.
working.
Yeah. I mean, that's
It's
something that,
definitely working.
obviously, hopefully they can go on an extended run. Obviously, they got something popping right now, but Cat's always looking for what's 6 months, what's a year down the road, what does it all look like?
Right.
Are you building a career or just a moment? And I think that's, what we're gonna see.
Yeah, we need some new cats, man. My man Boogie gonna turn 30 soon, son. That's how you know. Like,
Crazy, bro.
He gonna turn 30 soon, man. So New York, we need something, man.
Right.
Get in the booth.
Yeah, get in the booth or something, bro. But shout out to the good brother DJ Drewski for
course.
stopping by Billboard
real.
Unfiltered, man.
I appreciate y'all
Appreciate
for
it.
having me.
Yeah,
Come
man.
back
sir.
anytime.
Yeah.
Facts, bro. Brothers, sisters, we will see y'all next week. But thank you for checking in with us on Billboard Unfiltered. We out.
Peace.